My name is Pauline Moran. I'm a naturopath. I've recently taken offices on Liverpool Science Park because I'm initiating a new education proposal for dyslexic students. So I'm really looking at the link between dyslexia, between right brain dominance and entrepreneurship. So it's looking to recognise that perhaps dyslexia is not a learning disability, it's a studying disability, and it is, rather than a disability, I would see it as a different ability, which is disabled in the current education system. So I prefer to call it a diffability. Okay. And some of the features in dyslexia, some of the difficulties experienced in the way the education system is at the moment, aspects such as short-term memory and disorganisation and a difficulty with focusing. Nutrition can play a massive part and can have a really positive impact on these particular features of dyslexia. So I am very interested in the health and wellbeing aspect of it, and also at exam time in the current education system. Exams can be particularly stressful. So I'm also looking at ways of introducing relaxation techniques for dyslexic students and developing a resilience and a buddy network, and also helping dyslexic students to understand that it is a different ability, it isn't a disability, and actually that they very often have great gifts and skills. They are the problem solvers in the business world. And very often what's created difficulties for them in their academic life can actually be their strengths in a business life. So they may never take a 9-to-5 job or have a conventional profession as such, but they have great scope to be in business. Research has shown that 37% of entrepreneurs are dyslexic. Cass Business School have recently conducted research which shows that dyslexia lends itself to entrepreneurship. And at the Global Entrepreneurs Conference in 2012, Richard Branson, one of the keynote speakers, both of whom were dyslexic, Richard Branson and Michael Heseltine, Richard Branson said that these students, dyslexic students, in the same way that academic students are given funding to go to university, dyslexic students or those students who choose to go into entrepreneurship should also have access to funding. What In the Right would like to do is recognise that it's not just about funding. We need to facilitate these students in business.
And has that been the topic of your discussions today? It's around how you can support people with dyslexia to actually develop themselves as in business or in education?
Yeah, recognising that the education system has to change its approach towards dyslexic students and to start seeing it as a different ability rather than a disability, but also recognising that these students have particular skill sets which lend themselves towards entrepreneurship and business. And, we are forever being told that the current financial situation is going to be saved and we're all going to be salvaged by entrepreneurs. So we should be facilitating this new generation of entrepreneurs who just happen to be currently labelled dyslexic, but I would see as right brain dominant. And there's actually a really good book by Dan Pink, who was speechwriter to Al Gore, and the book is called A Whole New Mind. And a whole new mind, right brainers will rule the future.
So in terms of the discussions that you've been having around the table in your group, what were the kind of key ideas and key issues that were coming out?
Key issues, okay. Well, it was really good actually because I was talking to people in the support department from John Moores University, and they also recognised, I think what came up was that, very often people talk about getting diagnosed dyslexic and they suffer from dyslexia, and I think everybody was on board with the idea of not seeing it as an illness as such, and that the perception of dyslexia needs to change. And also that, talking to people in academia, saying how, and education, they were explaining how very often it's difficult for these students to get the provision they need because just to be assessed costs £450, and that also students can be reluctant to declare that they are dyslexic, so will often forgo the assessment and the support that comes with it. And I'm very much about, the initiative that I have developed for sixth form colleges and schools is actually called In the Right, as in the right brain, in the right and wanted, because there are employment agencies out there which actually look for dyslexic students because they are or dyslexic graduates, because they're recognised as thinking differently and thinking outside the box, and therefore they are valued as problem solvers. So I think that needs to be expanded upon so that they are in the right without any issues or problems with that, and wanted in not only what are stereotypically seen as the creative industry, but they can be creative in medicine, they can be creative in teaching, and it's 70% of youth offenders have literacy issues. So we are losing a massive proportion of our society to the benefit, really, and well-being of society as a whole. We're losing our youth and our creative youth who are choosing to put their abilities to less desirable, if you like, issues, or who are lost within society, who feel marginalised within society because they feel excluded, because obviously this is a new idea, quite innovative, so it needs to be researched and measured. So we have links with the universities for that. And also it's surprising, well, not surprising because it is a day of innovation, but how many people I've spoken to today who are themselves right-brained, so identify and are happy to get on board in promoting this initiative in education, to changing the provision so that these children's abilities are catered for.
So it's been good in terms of
very
networking
good.
and actually building some of those links in together.
Yeah.